next is Tanay Tandon. Tanay is the founder of a company called Clipped. Clipped is the startup focused on making news articles into bullet points summarized for faster reading. Tanay has been featured on social media such as BBC and Forbes. Please welcome Tanay, who will be talking to us about building products as a student. Technology to Mark.
All right, can everyone hear me? Cool. So thank you so much. My name is Tanay Tandon. I'm the founder at Clipped, and I'm currently a senior at Cupertino High. So today I just wanted to talk a little bit about some of the lessons I've learned from building products and sort of the general procedure or general process that I see comes about when someone works on something. So I'd say that the first stage for most products, and this isn't necessarily true for everything, it's just what I've seen so far, is there's usually a hacking or sort of just fun building stage. And this might be where you come up with something or a field that you want to explore at a hackathon, and you just spend a couple hours in the garage or at an event or something and hammer it out. And then after that you decide, hey, this is actually something pretty cool, I want to work on it. I want to get users for it. I want to see if my friends like it. And you start prototyping it out. So you spend a couple months, invest more time, invest more resources, and essentially create a prototype of this product and iterate by getting advice from whoever it is that you get your advice from. And after a certain amount of time, if that prototype works out, if people like it, if people are using it, then you might even go about and turn it into a product, which adds tons of new dimensions to it. It's no longer just a project. You have users, you have customers, you have people that you need to talk to, keep happy, involve new features into. So there's like tons of new dimensions that are sort of introduced by turning something into a product. So sort of talking a little bit about where I got started, with Clipped, Clipped was a summarization app, and it used natural language processing in order to turn news articles into bullet points and infographics for faster consumption. So the way I got started with this was that I do debate in high school, Lincoln Douglas in parliamentary, probably like a lot of you. And one of the things that really bothered me about debate was that there was a lot of evidence file reading. Regardless of the event that you did, you would have to continuously search up, look for evidence files. Most of the time, it wouldn't even be pertinent to your case, and it would just be a wasted 10 minutes of reading. So over the weekend, I put together a simple keyword parser that would look through, and that would sift through a bunch of articles and sort of figure out which ones were pertinent to the case that I was looking at. And it worked out pretty well. It expedited my researching process. It helped out with some of my friends. And I decided, hey, why not prototype this out, spend a little bit more time into it, and maybe eventually turn it into a product. So I worked on reading a little bit about machine learning algorithms, researching papers, finding textbooks, in general just familiarizing myself with the statistics, math, and stuff behind artificial intelligence. So that was sort of how I spent my summer. And eventually, more and more people started using it, more and more people liked it, so I was like, hey, let's go ahead and make a product. So this is about sophomore year. I launched Clipped as an iOS and Android app, along with an API for licensing, where other people could integrate the algorithms into their technology. So there's a couple screenshots of the app. You pretty much have a news article. Instead of reading the whole thing, you've got a couple of infographics, important dollar amounts, and then a semantically generated bullet point summary, which is sort of what the focus of my research was on. So from there, I was like, you know what? After working on this project, I love artificial intelligence. Machine learning, NLP, anything related to artificial intelligence is what I really want to work on for the rest of my life. And whether it was computer vision, I really didn't care. I just wanted to work on these projects as long as I was alive and as long as I had strength in me to build products. So I spent more time researching, and I spent about a year working with my mentor at the Stanford AI Lab, and sort of would always ping him with questions, did a research internship there, learned a lot about the field of AI in general, and I would say that definitely built me up as a person and gave me the technical skill set in order to sort of excel at whatever it is that I was working on. Now, interestingly enough, after working on debate and after working on Clipped, and then following that, learning more about artificial intelligence, something else caught my eye. And sort of going through the whole, sort of hacking, then prototyping, and then product phase once again, I was at a hackathon, and I thought, hey, it would be pretty cool if there were some researchers at UC Davis who were able to take a very simple ball lens called a von Leeuwenhoek magnifier, attach it to the back of a smartphone, and then immediately generate magnifications in the range of 350 to 400x, which is enough to see blood cells at. And this was pretty mind-blowing to me, especially given the fact that it was such a simple ball lens. It's literally a 1 millimeter sphere of glass. And you just tape it. I taped it to the back of my camera, and what do you know? I'm seeing blood cells. So I combined this then with my interests and sort of my passion for artificial intelligence and trained a series of computer vision algorithms in order to identify parasite cells. So Plasmodium, which causes malaria, trypanosoma, and a variety of other blood anomalies such as anemias, etc. So that is sort of my garage setup over there, which I do all of my work in currently. And as you can probably tell, this is still in its prototyping stage. I still have, we're yet to release it as a project, as a product, but I'm working with my friend Deepika, who's in the audience right now, to sort of hopefully get this out there, working in rural areas in a couple of months, and who knows, maybe even the homes of every single one of you for a rapid blood test. So I guess the major takeaways that I would sort of like you guys to maybe get from this is, first of all of the tools are out there. They're easily available, whether it's the open source community, research papers online, textbooks, whatnot, it's all available and ready for us to consume. And most people never get a chance to take advantage of this. And that's why I think I really like the references to Google that everyone mentioned earlier today, because it's really true. If you have a question, just Google it. And at the end of the day, you're gonna figure it out. So number 2, your room, garage, or wherever you're comfortable is the place to work. You don't need an office space. You don't need to rent out some really complicated area or anything like that. Literally, wherever you're the most comfortable with your laptop or whatever tools you need to build whatever it is that you want to make, that's the place to get started. And the time is literally right now. It's like there's nothing stopping you from getting started. Next up, I would say be technical. And I really like the thing about the T-shaped people earlier, because that was along the lines of what I wanted to mention, is that learn a hard skill that other people don't have or would take a lot of time for them to develop, and then combine that with a bunch of your secondary skills or things that you're interested in or things that you love. For me, that was debate, maybe even biology with Athulus. And my hard skill or my technical skill was computer science and AI, because I spent the most time developing those out. And once you sort of have this array of combinations, you can just mix and match these skills and figure out awesome new confluences and awesome new fields to build products at, which I think is one of the most fun things as an entrepreneur, an innovator, an engineer, whatever. And then finally, one of the I'd say most unique sort of aspects for this audience specifically is that we're all students, most of us. And one of the advantages of that is that we have the incredible flexibility to pivot. If we fail once, we don't have a family dependent on us that's going to be screwed over. We're literally going to just change our mind and immediately start working on something else, learn from that failure, and immediately start creating something new. And I think we need to take advantage of that. Like, Mark Zuckerberg says, fail fast. And it's very important and very true in today's world, because the more you fail, the more you learn, and that's only going to happen when you do stuff. So overall, that is my story with debate to malaria, and hopefully I'm really excited to see what you guys come up with in the near future. That's my contact information. I'm Tanay_Tandon on Twitter, or ttandon@stanford.edu. Thank you so much.